Hey folks, Green Stuff Gav here. Merry Wintermas, Happy Christmas, Glorious Golden Ascension. Whatever you're celebrating this time of year, I hope you enjoy it and celebrate it with good people. So this week's video is slightly different because it's basically the last video of the year, bar an unboxing next week, and I'm doing something a little bit different, sort of a roundup video. I'm going to try doing timestamps below, so hopefully that all works. As well as what we'll do is we'll also cut to various stages where various projects are going on, just to give a slight overview of what's occurring. The channel itself is not doing too badly. We're currently at 92 subscribers, which I know some people get a lot more subscribers and a lot less time, but I like to think I'm very consistent with the product, with the process. You know, every Thursday is a video, and I don't do the whole like, share, subscribe malarkey that you hear everywhere else. Maybe that's to my detriment, but regardless, I'd hope people do, you know, do all those things naturally. So yeah. There's a few videos upcoming. Obviously, we've just started covering Fallout 76 camp building, which I really enjoy and put a lot of time into. I need to sort out a better microphone though, because the sound quality on that one was terrible. I've got some more Marvel Crisis Protocol by C27 to paint up, some STLs I've printed, because we're now 3D printing, which I could probably do a video on my process for that, because I suspect it's slightly different to everyone else's. Obviously, we're still painting Warhammer Underworlds. And yeah, I've got a commission on at the moment, which is to paint an Oathmark army, which there's not really a lot of content there, so I haven't really covered it, but it is on the Instagram and the Tweeters, which again I've set up to sort of for the Build Your Imagination brand under Green Stuff Gav, so you can follow that stuff along easy enough. I've been updating the website, which is good. It's nice to get back to coding, which I haven't done for over a decade, almost two. And yeah, so what we'll do a jump cut now, and we'll have a look at some of the army projects that are going on. So first of all, we've got here a army I'm working on for Warhammer 40,000 4th edition. Alex and I have been playing. We played a lot of 3rd and we've moved on to 4th now. I picked up a lot of these are the Hasslefree Kindred models, the sort of World War-esque halflings they did. Currently out of print at the moment. And yeah, I've organised them into squads, and in 4th edition 40k, in 3rd edition you had to have certain units in certain combinations. So I've organised them out into platoons here, where you've got a command squad and then 4 individual squads, a HQ, and then some specials. The tanks are from Mirfield Miniatures, who I'll link below. I've done that's from their Chibi Sisters of Conflict, like Chibi Sisters of Battle, which are fantastic minis. Here's the current command squads. We've got the Blackstone Fortress Halfling, the original Halfling, a new Blood Bowl Halfling converted up, a Victorian Miniatures Halfling, and one of Macrocosm. I'd like to get the current GW Halfling Sniper into the squad somewhere, but that will hold on. Obviously, the paint job's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. It's just green fatigues. I plan on doing like a flock, green flock, but they're I'm going to put in unit markings on all of the models. So I don't know if the camera will show that or not. Probably not. But yeah, so still got a way to go. All the, obviously, I filled all the gaps in the bases, so got a whole horde there that need undercoating before I do any more painting. But should be quite a fun army to play. Lots and lots of guys, lots and lots of las guns. But yeah, it'll look good on the table, I reckon, and can be used for multiple different games. I don't know bolt action yet, but hopefully I could be able to sort of try and ship them across and use them in bolt action as well. Yeah, it's a long project, this one, because yeah, it's very repetitive, very samey, because there's a lot of the same miniature. This army, however, is something that has a bit of a story. Originally put together for 6th, maybe 7th edition 40k. It's a Blood Angels Dreadnought army, obviously with the Librarian Dreadnought, and using Fear of the Ancients to make just Dreadnought list. Now, I originally painted this army up a long time ago, and in 2008, I do believe, and I paint an army and trade it. Now, I painted a Crimson Fist biker army and traded that off for some Space Wolves. But my Hermes managed to lose the parcel and wouldn't reimburse me the full value that I insured it for. So I ended up losing out quite a lot. Now, I'd already done the trade, so I had to send the chap an army and sent him the Dreadnoughts, because I hadn't quite finished the army, but it was close enough. He was happy. Cue on a decade later, and I was offered a Dreadnought army in trade. I sent a picture saying, I've done a Dreadnought army. And this chap from Finland said, oh, that's the army I've got. So from trading up north somewhere, this army ended up in Finland and then come back to me. So I'd like to redo all the basing and do a scenic base. I'm currently reworking these into, well, 4th edition 40k as well. So in that instance, I've got obviously Tech Marines, because you've got to have a HQ. I've got some troop squads, which are Satyr Studios is not female Space Marines, which are very Rogue Trader-esque miniatures. Now, to put some scouts into the army, I've done some Skitari, because they aren't in earlier editions of 40k, and the start of a Death Company as well. But yeah, so I did obviously your Librarian Dreadnought, your Chaplain Dreadnought, and then 2 Tech Marine Dreadnoughts you can see at the back there. Because the theory being the Lamenters were nearly wiped out, so this was like the last remnants. Thanks to the fact they had a couple of Dreadnought Tech Marines were able to hook up with the Mechanicus, hence one of my Tech Marines is a Magus. They've got full servitor retinues, and then having some Skitari as Space Marine Scouts to bulk the army out. And I've got planned to do a display case for them, which I'm currently working on, sort of building back up, loads of tech greebling and gubbins, but that's been a bit of a back burner. So from 40k to 30k, now I tend to paint an army and trade an army on, and I've recently received this one from, I can't remember what I traded for it. Oh, the Crimson Fist's 3rd edition army. So this army come to me all designed to ideally supposed to have been Iron Hands, but when I get an army, I tend to reshuffle it into a list that I like. So all of these guys were all Flamer Special Weapons Marines. So I've reworked them into 2 tactical squads. I am planning on word bearers, because none of the local community has word bearers, and it'd be nice to paint like a really dark red scheme. I actually received a box of Rubric Marines, which is missing the Sorcerer in another trade, So they're going to be my veterans when I do some head swaps with them. I think they'll work really well. So yeah, a big part of any project when I get them is to see what miniatures I've actually got and reshuffle into a list, a viable list, before I sort of set to the project. So you can see there's a few Marines that are missing bits where I'm going to have a Vexilla in each squad, but instead of just gluing a back banner on, these guys are going to have them on banner poles, and finding bits to make characters to fit the army, you know, from the old bits box. Yeah, should be an interesting project. Is loads of freehand work and things like that, but the yeah, they're next up on. They're going to bump up the work queue, I think. And finally, on the projects, current projects, we've got an army for Oathmark. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Oathmark is a fantasy battle regiment system by Osprey Games, and it's quite unique in the fact that everything comes on 25mm bases, and you can mix and match races in an army. So I'm going for a human kingdom, but with a very heavy Amazonian feel to it. So you see, I've got a 3D printed unit of human line breakers from Artisan Guild, who are like these real wild Amazonians. I think they look quite cool. On top of that, I've got some of Ian Lovecraft's Lost Boys as a regiment of halflings. I've got some Rackham Dwarves are going to be artillery crew when I get an artillery piece for them. Some Oathsworn Miniatures out of production dwarves, which are lovely sculpts. You've seen me open these a while back. So that's going to be a dwarf regiment in the army. And then some of Frostgrave's Ghost Archipelago crewmen, pirate crews. They're going to be my human soldiers. Because again, that'll sort of lean to the theory that these are all wild races from an Amazonian territory with some human crew. The giant is another Artisan Guild 3D print. And then there's some characters at the front here. A 3D printed captain's going to lead the army. We got another Artisan Guild as a human linebreaker general. One of the miniatures we got from Mirfield Miniatures is going to be a dwarf wizard. And yeah, I got another box of these guys to assemble. They're not great. I prefer the Northman range I've just done as a painting commission, because these guys come with like integral bases, which are a bit mediocre. But nice detail and gives you plenty of options. So that's yeah, army I'm currently working on. I need to build another unit of pirates and work out what I'm doing for my dwarven artillery. Thinking cannon crews, like ship's crew, would be quite cool. But yeah, so it's fun project. Is I tried things like 3D printing some basing bits, as you can see on the line breakers bases here, but they're a bit lost in the flock, in the static grass. So I don't know if I'll bother for the rest of the army. But it's always fun to paint these. The thing I like about Oathmark is you can mix and match. You don't have to, oh, I'm only going for humans, I'm only going for dwarves. You can sort of do a unit of each and mix them up, which is quite nice. Sort of lets you break a bit from repetition. Yeah, should be quite fun. I've got to make movement trays as well, so yeah, quite a fun game by the sounds of it. Right, so tail end of the video, there's a couple of, I thought I'd do a little bit of thing on my Headspace. Is, as some might know, I've struggled a lot in the last almost decade now. Life just continues to kick and it gets a bit to me, which again, is partly why I do the YouTube content creation, because I need to give myself some structure. It's very difficult all the time. I know a lot of people complain, you know, this time of year, but yeah, I'm doing better than I have been. It's not great at the moment, and it is a struggle, but it is what it is. There's plenty of people worse off, so I try not to complain too much. Having people view the content I do, whether here, Twitter, or whatever, does help, but you know, you can't put yourself entirely on the social media thing, because that's just not the way I deal with things. So but yeah, we're getting there. Is massive clear out of my flat space has helped a lot. It also means that I'm available to move should I get offered work elsewhere. I'm not sort of limited to just being here. And the good thing about the social media type things, your YouTube, your Twitter, your Instagrams, they can be done from anywhere. Anywhere you can set a camera up, which is good. Yeah, it's nice to, you know, get projects complete, which I've got a couple of tough ones on at the moment, so as soon as I can get them finished, that'd be good. Again, the YouTube series would be nice to finish painting Underworlds. It's funny enough, like, it doesn't take much. As you can see, my setup isn't great, isn't a massive intricate setup, but it's actually getting stuff on camera and recording the voiceovers is the bit that is really difficult for me, because I'm not entirely sure anyone wants to hear what I've got to say. So, but regardless, is yeah. And that's the end of it. Well, thanks for watching, and as always, have fun.